Okay guys, so just starting this video like right in the middle. So this is my Ducati Streetfighter. This is the 2021 model. As you can see, this is the black matte or the stealth black. So as I'm going with the bike, you know, there's a lot to do on this motorcycle to make it yours. And I'm not talking about customization. So although I put like these domino grips, you know, and I have done like little things, right? So I wrap, let me see if I can put this, I wrap those into a protecting layer of vinyl that is carbon fiber, just to avoid the scratch, because they do get scratched. Another thing that you want to check, it's here. The bike actually is very susceptible to salt and stuff like that, so you want to keep that in mind, and you need to clean it actually because of, let me see if I can just showcase it here. Okay, as you can see on that one, so it actually is very susceptible to corrosion. Let me see. So I have to take it to the dealer. They help me out, clean it up, but I'm going to be changing those bolts. And the other one, this is a little bit dark here, but the other one that came out with corrosion, it was this one here. So I'm going to change those with titanium. So in terms of modifications, that's basically what it is. Now, the other stuff that I wanted to talk about is how the bikes handle. For a $24,000 bike, there's a lot need to be done there. It's not perfect, right? No, it's not like other reviewers are saying, I pay for these motorcycles, so I don't need to hold myself on what I'm going to say. But basically, there is a lot to do in terms of configuration, and I'm going to start doing those videos later on. But the one that I want to tackle today is this one. So this is what happened. The bike, when it's very soft on the front, right? So depending on the riding mode, it's very soft. I'm at 210. So I'm on the heavier side, but it dives a lot, and you can bottom out the front suspension real quick, which is not good. And what I find out is in the different modes, it react different as expected, right? But for this one, what we're going to tackle is to help the modes, because although this is electronic suspension, and you have the only electronic suspension, let me see if I can rotate here, in the back, and in the front here, what it doesn't do is actually adjusting the preload like the BMW. So if I go here, the BMW, the S1000XR have that module there. So in that module, what it does is adjust the preload as well as you're riding. So you just go right over there. Then the XR, the Street Fighter doesn't have that. So what we need to do then, in order to do that, is we need to adjust the preload manually. And I couldn't find anything over the internet how to do this. So contact my dealer, check on the manual instruction. Just in the manual instructions says contact your dealer, basically. So what I find out is like you need to unplug these guys here, and be careful doing so because these can break really easily. So you want to unplug these guys here, and then this anodized nut is the one that it actually set your preload, and that's what we're gonna do today. Hopefully, I need to give it I need to recover like at least like 5 millimeters with the sag, with the static sag, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna help the suspension on the different modes with the rebound and with the rebound and compression, and that should improve the motorcycle rideability. So I'm just going to put the camera on the tripod, and I'm going to start doing this process, and I'm going to take you guys along. So see you in a bit. Okay, so now that we're set, a couple things that you need to take into consideration. The first one, it's disc scratch, so be careful, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a tape to avoid this scratch. The other thing that you want to know is I'm not going to cover that in this video. You need to work on how you want your suspension to behave. I identified that I needed like a 5 millimeters of recovery on compression because my static sag, it was way off the chart, right? So on the back, I think it was like nothing. It was like almost like 5 millimeters on the static sag, and on the front it was like 20. So that's too much, right? So what I did is I removed some of the preload. I think I removed 4 rings on the preload. Let me show you what it is. Okay, so let me just get this camera out of here. So I remove, yeah. So, oh, okay. This bike here was having, I don't know, man, like a lot. So what I did is I think it's like it was like a 4 or 5 rings. My buddy's one came out like a with better static sag. So I think it varies. He have the Street Fighter V4s, the 2021 the 2020 model. This is the 2021. So I guess that varies. In order to do this, you're gonna need to remove this, right? You're gonna remove the 4 screws, and then you're gonna pop up the steering wheel. Be careful because you have the reservoirs. Be careful that they're well closed and they're not leaking. And then put something on the screen. So I put this bottle and plastic. So in that, and you know, and a rag. So in that way, it's easier to just to clean up. And you know, I don't want to scratch it against the screen. Okay, with that out of the way, did you need to pull this rubber cover, and then you're gonna pull this out, okay? So once you put that out, you're gonna expose this part here. And I read somewhere, and that's what I'm gonna validate today. So I read somewhere that it's a 32 millimeter nut. So that's what we're gonna check now. And I'm gonna be very careful because I don't have, yeah, so I think it's a little bit less than 32, but 32, give it like a little bit, this is a 32 millimeter. Give it like a little bit of wiggle room, which is great. This is what I'm gonna do with that. I am gonna grab gaffer tape, and it doesn't need to be gaffer tape, right? It can be like any tape, it's just I happen to have gaffer tape around. And I'm gonna actually just, you know, kind of like surround this, just to protect it, right? Just to protect it, I'm gonna do this and this. So in that way, I'm protecting that area, I'm protecting the anodized part, and that should be enough. Now, the other part that I wanna do on this is, with a Sharpie, or with something you wanna mark, where is the, and if I can find a Sharpie, you wanna mark where is your preload line. So what you want to do is you want to have a line, right? So you want to have a reference line. So I'm going to make it like right here. So I'm going to make it right there. It's just like a little dot. Because in that way, you can determine where are you in terms of, you know, implementing that. And for this one, this is a 1/2 inch connection. So what I'm gonna do is gonna use this one. I'm assuming, right, that, yeah, okay, perfect. I am assuming that if I go, you know, to the right, I am going to, you know, yep, there you go, that I'm going to, you know, so that's 1 turn of adjustment. Okay, so I'm assuming with the right, I am adding preload, so I'm lowering the suspension. So because I'm looking for 5 millimeters, and I have right now almost a turn, I'm gonna do a turn, and that's why it's important to mark, you know, where that dot was, right? So I want to have 1, and I want to create like a full half. Okay, and there you go. So I have 1.5. Okay, and this is going to be tricky because you need to do the same in both sides. The thing is, like, you want to be careful and you want to be precise on this, because you don't want to have more compression on one side than another. It's just more preload on one side than another. So just take that in consideration. Okay, let me just, same process here. I added 1.5 of compression. I need to take the bike out, get that on. Let's straight the front tire. We got all this in place. Now, let's just remove all this. So in that way, we know. Oh, something very important. You want to mark down your settings. And that's something that I forgot to say. You really want to mark down your settings because you don't want to forget where were you. The other thing is, like, I rotated to the right. I am thinking that that is the right approach to, oops. I am thinking that's the right approach, but again, you really, really need to check that, okay? Just get the handlebar, bring it back. Also, you want to remember where were your settings in terms of your clamps, right? So I did have it on the +3 angle, meaning I did want to gain some positive, movement. Now, this thing have grease. You want to keep that, right? You want to keep that grease in these nuts because the last thing that you need is some corrosion into it, right? So it's just a little bit. So usually what I do is I dip a little bit on the, where's my paper towel? I dip that a little bit of I got red grease, dip it in there, just to be sure that they're good, right? And then I put it back. And the reason that you want to do that is honestly to prevent corrosion, to get into your, which is, it's always a good thing to do. Let me show you this. So it's basically this, right? So you want to put a little bit of a grease on it. Now what you do, and this is in an angle, so it's a little bit painful. Let me just get this out of the way. At the beginning, it's a little bit painful. So what you want to do is just grab your tip of your socket, and then you want to be sure that you just go. You just go really, really easy. Okay, so right now, and I'm sorry, I had it backward. There you go. And this is important. So you see these little arrows here. That's what it indicates which side is front. So you want to pay attention to that. And they should go like this. Like it should be very easy. It shouldn't be nothing, nothing forced. It's if you feel that the first 2 turns you have to you get a little bit of resistance, then you're doing something wrong. Bring it back, because if it's not, you are gonna strip your, the thread, and you definitely don't want to do that, because then you will need to replace the base, the clamp. It's just expensive, man. You just don't want to do that, okay? In my case, I do have, is the grease. In my case, I do have a little bit of, put this here. Okay. There you go. Just because I have, again, should be very, very easy. And what it's trying to do is it just doesn't want to go easy. So what you need to do then, let go here a little bit. And now you should go. Perfect. See, now it goes and like I said before, if you feel that you're doing, that is getting into the point that you need to exercise some pressure, then something is wrong, right? Something is not working. So this, go here, put it there, And then here you go. I'm gonna get it there. Now, once you have it adjusted with your hand, you want to like then rotate it to where you want to go. Let me show you something. It's kind of important though. You see those lines there? Those are the lines that you want to be sure that they're aligning. It's a very, let me bring the camera a little bit up, because it is important that that part, you get it right. Release this a little bit, and then you want to get it onto those lines are right in the middle. You're going to hold it, right? So you're going to be sure that it's in the middle. There you go. Okay. And once you got it, then just press the knuckle a little bit. That will create the pressure that you need. And there you go. So hold it in place. Then what we need to do is actually torque this. So the book called for 19 nanometers, or between 19 and 20. So I am going to set up for 19.5. So that should be fine. Now, okay. Now I'm going to go here. Okay. Okay, that's 19. That's 19. That's 19. And that's 19. Perfect. So that is set up. I have 50 millimeters of sag front and rear, which is way better than what it was before. I'm gonna try it like that, see how it works, see if it bottom out in the same way that it was doing it before. I can see the suspension now have it seems to have more travel. It's using the whole travel, so that's great. What I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna do a test ride. I'm gonna go with my friends. We're gonna ride about 40 miles, and hopefully the bikes behave way better than I'm expecting. And now what you're going to do is you're going to align the connector into the suspension again. So just look into this tip here, and you're going to connect into it and just align the dots and be careful, right? So what you're going to do now is just press that, after you align, press the part and just push it down, and you're going to hear a click. Once you hear the click, it should be connected, and that will be it. And now let's clip. And let's push it down, and then that will be it. Let's do the same thing with the other side. I think this side is going to be way better. I don't know why, since to it's going to be easier. Okay, so we got all this. It's all in place. That will be it, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me until the end. I know it's been a long video. I hope that is useful. I will do a test ride, and I will put the second part of this. So see you guys in the next one, and thank you again. Bye.